The last step in a Zentangle tile is shading. So we put away our pen, we're done, and we bring back our pencil. With shading, we're adding a final touch of depth. The thing to remember about shading is anything that we shade will recede or look farther from the eye, and anything not shaded will appear to pop up or look closer to the eye. I'm going to pick Crescent Moon as the first pattern to shade, and there are millions of ways that you could choose to shade your crescent moon. I'm going to show you one that I like because it ends up making the crescent moon look like a gorge or the Grand Canyon in a way. So I'm going to take where I have clustered lines, several lines kind of lined up already, and I'm going to lay down a light layer of pencil. And you don't need to use a very hard touch, and you don't need to use a lot of graphite or shade at first. We can always add more. So use a lighter touch to begin. And I'm just accentuating where I have natural intersection of these lines. And that will do for now. So I've put a little bit of graphite down, and now I take my blending stump, and you will be amazed at how much the graphite will spread. The blending stump is just tightly rolled paper that gives you a tip, and it melts this graphite right into the paper. And this is why I said you don't need a heavy hand, because that little tiny amount of graphite is giving us quite a bit of coverage. And shading is just fun. when we hold the tile back a little bit, you can see that the shading has given it a 3D depth. So I like to think of that's the center of my cavern or my gorge, and we're looking down into it. Now let's come and shade Printemps. Printemps is another one that's fun to shade and can be shaded in many ways. I'm just choosing to lay down some graphite in ones of my Printemps. I'm not doing all of them, but I'm doing a few. And I'm tending to do my bigger ones in particular. Now, as we did before, we take the tortillon and spread that graphite. Now when I hold the tile away, you can see that we have depth in our Printemps. I'm going to shade Bales now by putting a little accent of graphite in the centers of my flowers or pods or beans or whatever you want to call them. And then I will spread the graphite using the tortillon. And this will probably really accentuate a quilt effect. Let's see what happens when we spread the graphite. And we see kind of a pop effect. The bales looks different with the shading. Lastly, I'm going to put some shading down on Hollabah. Hollabah works well to shade alongside a few of the railroad tracks. This will make some of the railroad tracks appear to be higher than the other ones. And just gives us another element of depth. So I'm shading beneath the line, not on the line itself. We're not on the railroad track. And there's the shading for volleyball. You have just created your first piece of art